I still remember the sting of grease on my fingers, the smoke curling from the grill, and her laugh cutting sharper than any knife. "If you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice," my husband's sister said. Everyone chuckled, everyone except me. I lifted my hot dog, met her eyes, and whispered, "Challenge accepted." That was the moment I stopped existing for them. When I first met Daniel, he was gentle, kind. He called me his anchor, his reason for calm. He said I brought warmth into his family, that I was the piece they'd been missing. I believed him. I married into noise, his family's endless chatter, their inside jokes, their impenetrable walls. I thought time would carve me a place among them. Instead, it only carved me out. They smiled when I cooked. They smirked when I spoke. I mistook tolerance for affection. And when his sister spat her venom that day, I realized the truth. I was an outsider wearing borrowed skin. The shift came quietly, like rot under floorboards. Late nights, whispers in the garage. His phone always face down. A faint perfume on his shirt I never wore. One night, he slipped and called me her name, his sister's best friend. I laughed it off then, but the ice had already entered my chest. I waited. I watched. And then, the confirmation. Messages tucked inside his email drafts, never sent, but never deleted. I can't stop thinking about last night. She doesn't suspect. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. I memorized every detail, every breadcrumb he left for me to follow. I became quiet, still, controlled. He thought I was tired, distant. He mistook silence for surrender. But silence is a weapon. Silence is preparation. I started moving pieces. First, my money. Every joint account slowly bled into one he couldn't touch. I transferred what I could, left enough behind to keep him blind. Then, the lease. I found a small apartment across the city. Month to month, paid in cash. A shadow home, waiting. Finally, my proof. Copies of his messages, photographs of his meetings, records of the hotel receipts. A file thick enough to choke him in court. I wasn't leaving in panic. I was leaving in precision. The night I disappeared was deliberate. I packed in silence while he slept. One suitcase, one box, nothing more. My wedding ring I left on the nightstand, not out of sorrow, but as evidence. I didn't slam doors. I didn't write notes. I simply vanished. The next morning, his world fractured. Calls unanswered. Family confused. His sister's smug laughter gone hollow. He went to the police, filed a missing persons report. But I wasn't missing. I was free. My lawyer served him the papers 2 weeks later. Divorce. Full financial disclosures. Evidence of infidelity stapled to every page. His face at mediation, ashen, broken, was almost worth the years I had wasted. Almost. A year later, I saw them again. Not by chance, by design. They gathered at the same house, the same backyard where I had once been mocked into silence. The same lawn chairs, the same cheap beer, but the laughter was thinner now. Daniel was gaunt. His new girlfriend sat beside him, his sister's best friend. The affair made flesh. They looked miserable, a parody of love, tethered by shame more than affection. I stepped through the gate like a ghost returned. Conversation died. Forks hovered mid-air. Daniel's eyes widened. "You?" I raised my glass, calm, poised. "If you disappeared tomorrow, Daniel, no one would even notice." The silence was delicious. His sister flinched first, then looked away, her joke echoing back like poison swallowed twice. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need revenge and fire and blood. I had already erased myself from their lives, and in that void, they had rotted. I left them there, staring at the hollowness they had built. They were the forgotten ones now, lost in their own betrayals, choking on the silence I had once endured. I didn't look back. Some stories don't end with fireworks. They end with absence, with the clean, sharp cut of walking away and letting them drown in what they created. And me? I didn't just disappear. I was reborn.